Hello there, and welcome back to the Disconnected. It is the week of Black Friday, and today we are making everything about Vinegar Syndrome. We're going to go on a website tour, talk about some recommendations, and look at sections of their website you should be looking at first when their sale goes live this Thursday night. Oh, and by the way, I will be live as the sale goes live. We will be talking about all of the new titles, talking about all of the extras, the new slips that they have coming in, and everything else related to Black Friday sales for multiple websites, but Vinegar Syndrome is usually the star of the show. So let's dive right into them. So this is the Vinegar Syndrome homepage, and on Black Friday of 2022, everything comes to a head starting at 12:01 a.m. Eastern on November 25th, and will run through 11:59 p.m. Eastern on November 28th. By now, I'm sure that you have heard that all things Vinegar Syndrome and partner label through OCN will all be 50% off of their MSRP as long as they were released before a certain date that we will get into. But there will be almost 400 Vinegar Syndrome and their related line titles on sale, and over 100 partner label titles will all be marked down to 50% off, including tons of stuff that still have slipcovers, tons that are going out of print, and some that are on the verge of being gone forever. The moment the sale goes live, you're also going to be able to get their entire November lineup, which includes the VSU that was announced, that is Roadhouse, the UHD and Blu-ray debut of The Invisible Maniac, the second Homegrown Horrors box set, which will have Moonstalker, Dead Girls, and Hanging Heart. Plus, they're going to have their newest Hong Kong film, Burning Paradise. On top of that, there are going to be two secret titles that are going to be revealed as soon as the sale goes live. Lots of people have been guessing at these. However, there are a couple of random hints that we have gotten. So, on one of them, they had some discoveries related to one of the films, and what they discovered was a long censored bit of violence and sleaze that they uncovered at the 11th hour and dutifully restored, making theirs the longest cut of the film ever and the most complete video presentation of that movie on home video ever. And they're saying that's only one quarter of the surprises which lie in wait. You are also going to be able to see two new catalog slips, two ultra limited comic styled variant slips, and a plethora of new merch, including freshly designed shirts, the New York Ninja comic book, which is going to be available in multiple places, and a whole lot more. The site is offline now, as you can see, but you can still go to your checklist at www.vschecklist.com. Keep in mind, they did just update their checklist. There is a new version, and it does not copy over from the old version. So you do have to go in and make those changes yourself to mark what you do have. Unfortunately, they have also stated that the staff pick section is going to be no longer on the website. Right now, there is a 20% off sale on staff code, and there is a coupon code for that, and that is staff picks 20, staff picks 20, all in lowercase, and 20 is the numbers 20. So make sure that when that sale goes live, if there's something you absolutely want there, you utilize that first and foremost so that it does not go away. So let's go back to those mystery titles. Every single one of the Vinegar Syndrome sales, they have two mystery titles that they wait to unveil until the sale goes live. They always leave a string of hints, and one of the latest set of hints that they gave us is, quote, our always stunning duo of secret surprise VS titles will be sure to wow with the UHD and Blu-ray debut of a big budget, star-studded spectacle that's about as trashy and outrageous as they come. What makes this release even more exciting is that discovery that I just mentioned a little bit ago. It is so major that they stopped everything they were doing and hit reset. And on the other end of the spectrum, our second surprise title is a grisly little shocker that's been begging for ages to be treated to a glorious HD release. It's a bit too well connected to Hollywood to count as homegrown, but it certainly shares the spirit, which is interesting. They also have multiple VSAs coming, and they gave a little hint there, which said, despite being made decades apart, both champion action legends of their time. So, super interesting about that. Before we get into the website tour part of this, Vinegar Syndrome has given us some more information that should be useful for most people going into this sale. So, if you've already placed a flash pre order or pre ordered the film Roadhouse, you qualify for free shipping during the Black Friday sale. Just use the handy add to my existing sale order free shipping option, and everything will come in one gigantic package. And that works for subscribers too. Everything will come in one package. Speaking of subscriptions, as you've probably heard, Vinegar Syndrome subscriptions will now only be available exclusively during Subscriber Week of 2023, which will be held from January 1st through the 7th. However, for just $25, you will be able to lock in a 2023 subscription during this Black Friday sale by purchasing the Reserve Now and Save coupon. Customers who purchase this will automatically get a $50 coupon good towards a full 2023 subscription when you complete that subscription purchase during subscriber week of 2023. Basically, you get a free movie if you are willing to put down $25 now because you're going to get $50 back. Important for 2022 current subscribers, you do not qualify for that Reserve Now and Save promotion, as you will automatically be getting a renewal coupon code in late December. This has always worked. They have done this for years, and I'm willing to bet it's probably even going to be a little more than the $50 off. So just be on the lookout for that in December. So, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, there are certain titles that will not be on sale. So, basically, the way that they break this down is by release date. Every single Vinegar Syndrome, VSA, Picorama, and partner label title with a release date prior to July of 2022 will be discounted 50% off of the MSRP. Titles with release dates beginning in July will not be discounted across the board. Some of those VSU and VSP releases, titles in their staff pick section, merch, clothing, and some older partner label titles currently under distribution by another company may not be discounted. So just keep that in mind. Certain titles that you may be expecting to be on discount may not be, but even still, that's going to be a very small percentage of the overall titles available. So let's break down the Vinegar Syndrome website. As soon as the sale goes live, this whole top section here is going to be updated with all of the brand new November 22 titles that are going to be released for the Black Friday sale. We currently have one available here, which is Roadhouse, but this is going to be joined by all of the other titles that have been previously announced, the two mystery titles. Usually available merch will also be on this homepage when you start to scroll down, just like the two October specials that they had for the Vinegar Syndrome merch that was available. So anything that is brand new for Vinegar Syndrome specifically should be listed right here. If you are in the mood for partner labels, the best thing that you can go click on is all partner label releases right here. When this loads, this takes you to all of the brand new partner label titles currently in stock by release date with newest first. That's how it defaults. There are a few things to keep in mind when the sale goes live that you may want to do right off the bat. One is that if you already have stuff placed in your cart before the sale goes live, 98% of the time, those carts are emptied before the sale actually appears in your browser. So one thing that you may want to do is certain titles that are super close to going out of stock or out of print, you may want to get those first. And depending on what they are, there are a couple easier ways to check those titles. So one is if you're looking at Vinegar Syndrome titles, they have this section right here that is listed as going out of print. When you click that, you will see that there is currently some titles listed as going out of print for Vinegar Syndrome. All of these are currently still available to purchase, but they are going to be done on the Vinegar Syndrome website the moment that this print run is depleted. Now, for some of these, you are seeing the slipcovers, and for some of these, you're seeing standard releases. But for something like the hearse, the slipcover is not available. Only the standard edition is available, and they're saying that they have 761 of these left in stock. And when it is gone, it is gone. It will not be sold again through OCN. Some of these have a very small amount of titles available. So if you've been waiting to pick up Bijou, this currently only has 165 left in stock. Now, I am I'm willing to bet that most people that have been dying to get that title already have it since it's been released for years at this point. But if it's something that you were waiting on, you may want to jump on it because 165 could sell quick, especially considering it's about to go out of print. Some of these other ones, though, like Death Row Game Show, has over 1,000 left in stock. This is a film that many people that have wanted it, they either already have it or they've been hoping that Vinegar Syndrome was going to do a legacy slipcover for, and perhaps there will be a mad dash to grab it at this sale. The sales price for this title will be $14.99 when this goes live. So that's a savings of $6 just on this title the moment the sale goes live on Friday morning. With over 1,000 left in stock, you can see that there is going to be less of a mad dash for this title than something that has, 165 remaining. So you don't need to pick up that one immediately. Also, partner labels also have their own section that says going out of print. Now, for this one, many of these have slipcovers remaining, and when they are done for good. For example, Fun City Editions, Radio On, they only have 757 left of the slipcover edition. When you click on the standard edition, there are 715 of those. Now, when both of those are sold out, OCN will not be selling this Fun City Editions title anymore. So if you were waiting to get this one, this sale will be the time to get it. And again, you can see based on the crossed out price, the limited edition slipcover is going to be $19.99 on sale, and the standard edition is going to be $17.49. So these might be going fast as people usually are waiting for sales on some of these partner label titles that don't look like they're going to be selling out anytime soon. Primetime Panic is another one that I see going fairly quickly. This one only has 421 left at the time of recording this video, and by the time that this posts, it's probably going to be even less than that. There are some standard editions available for this, but many people are into the big box that this came in. Now, it will be down to $42.49 on sale. And for a lot of people, that is an incredible price for these three films. This was a really good box set, in my opinion. Now, from the homepage, there is one more section that I think is super important if you're looking to get titles before other people snatch them up for you. When you go to Vinegar Syndrome here, you can click on limited editions still in stock. Now, when this comes, this will have all of the titles that have limited editions, including slipcovers, or if it's a strictly limited edition, they will all be listed here. And this will tell you when they are still in stock. If you want to go for the oldest ones first, you can scroll down to the bottom, and there are some page markers here. You can click on the furthest page, and this will show you that this is the beginning of the list. And these are the ones that you can currently pick up that are either oldest or the original release date of the film is the oldest at least. So this is the last page of the limited edition still in stock. You're going to find something like Satan's Blood. This was released quite a bit ago, and currently it only has 131 of the slipcovers left in stock. This title, I guarantee you, will be going out of print during this sale. This one still has over 1,000 left of the standard edition. So if you are not just hunting for that slip, you're still going to be able to get this title. No worries, no need to rush. But if you are after the slip, you may want to grab it first. Something like Dark Tower still has more than 1,000 left of this slipcover. So that one will not be selling out immediately. Cthulhu Mansion. This one is another one that is very low, just over 400 left at the time of recording this. This is one that will likely be sold out during this sale. And worst of all, I don't understand how the severed arm is still here. From the original time that this went on sale, it had a slipcover, and it is still holding true to 503 slipcovers. I don't know if it's the color or the design that is turning people off. First of all, this is a really fun movie, and on top of that, the slipcover looks really good in the hand when you have it at home. I honestly suggest everybody pick this title up if you have not. And the coolest thing, this is pretty cheap. It's only going to be $17.49 during the sale. So, partner labels also have their portion of the website that is dedicated to limited editions still in stock here under partner labels. When you click that, I believe it defaults to dated old to new, but you can set that just in case. Some of these will likely be going out of print during the sale. For example, this AGFA horror trailer show, it only has 67 copies of the slipcover left in stock at the moment. This is probably going to sell out within the first 2 minutes of the sale going live. So if this is one you want, put it in your cart and check out immediately during the sale so that way you do not lose it. All right, because there are so many titles in the Vinegar Syndrome and OCN catalog as a whole, I'm going to go through these very quickly, just give some rash recommendations. And if you have any questions, hit me in the comments below and I will do my best to answer before the sale goes live. But either way, let's dive right into it. I'm going to skip the ones that are not going to be on sale this time. I'm going to be going straight to what was revealed in the last Vinegar Syndrome sale, which was the halfway to Black Friday sale, and go from there. And those ones are going to be through these titles and previous. So I definitely recommend Cloak and Dagger. This is going to be on the top of a lot of like best of lists for the year, I imagine. It is a solid release. The art is incredible and it looks great in 4K. Obviously, many people know about Thriller, A Cruel Picture, and that is one that most people are going to want in their collection. Going to the next page, Miami Connection. If that's your thing, you probably already know it's your thing. It's a solid release, looks great in 4K. Going on from here, I am a sucker for something like Voyage of the Rock Aliens. It is one that I think most people would enjoy. Scrolling down, I do recommend Death Wish 2 in 4K. It's a pretty big upgrade over the previous Blu-ray releases of that one. But then we have some other really cool things like Reform Schoolgirls. I'm still amazed that we actually have this release from Vinegar Syndrome. Fun movie. One that I think a lot of people might remember if they start to watch it, if they don't recognize the title. Keeping with that sort of thing, Drop Dead Fred is obviously worth it. One of my favorites from my childhood, one that I still adore. Dracula Sucks is an adult film, but it looks really great in 4K and genuinely a decent movie. It's got some really nice textures and settings that it filmed in, and I think a lot of people, if you're okay with the adult side of things, would probably enjoy it. Scrolling down, I still think it is astonishing that we have a 4K of Dead Heat in 2022. That is remarkable. This one is going to be on sale for the first time, and one that if you have never seen it, it is pretty hilarious. Also, Forgotten Jolly Volume 4, Vinegar Syndrome always kills it with these Jolly boxes, and I do think if you have not picked it up, it will be a great time to do so. Going to the next page, Fortress of America. A lot of people hated this movie. I actually think it's pretty damn fun. It's a Trauma distributed title, and it was worth it in my opinion. I will always heartily recommend the one-two punch of Ebola Syndrome in 4K and Flesh for Frankenstein in 4K. Both of these, especially Flesh for Frankenstein, it's a little more of an expensive release, but it is absolutely worth it for everything that you get in that package. This is the type of thing that people will associate with Vinegar Syndrome for a long time to come, for sure. Obviously, New York Ninja is one of the most important titles for Vinegar Syndrome at this point. It was the thing that put them on the map and set them to Beyond Fest, and we have a comic coming of that during the sale, and it's one that everybody needs to see to actually believe how it was resurrected. The Rudy Ray Moore box set. This is one that I will always champion. I am a big fan of every single movie in there, some more than others. I do think the whole Rudy Ray Moore story and evolution through all of these, leading up to the fact that we have an Eddie Murphy Oscar caliber performance in his My Name is Dolomite film for Netflix. This is one, if you don't have any of these films, it is a really great way to get all four of them. Graduation Day is a Vinegar Syndrome classic, wonderful slasher film. I think most people would enjoy that one. Going to the next line, I would say that Tix is the biggest safe pickup on this line. It is going to be about 25 bucks during the sale, but it looks astonishing in 4K, and it's a fully loaded package, one that most people will like. Resurrection, a lot of people have compared this to Seven because it has a lot of things in common, but it is a pretty great movie overall, and I do think that you should pick it up if you have not yet. This next page, one of the best films in the Vinegar Syndrome catalog that flies under the radar most of the time is Terminal Island. This film in 4K looks way better than I ever expected it to, but most people that have seen this movie genuinely love it, and I do think that it deserves a little more respect. It's a great film. Scrolling down, I think The Lamp is a fun one. I think it's one that if you didn't have the old Scream Factory release, this is one that will please a lot of people. Six String Samurai, it's a bit of a curio piece, but if this VSU is on sale, you may want to pick it up. It's a killer release and one that should be seen by more people, but I understand why a lot of people that have seen it don't really enjoy the entire film. But when it comes to enjoying the entire film, so many people have been astonished by both Scanner Cop and Scanner Cop 2. Both of those are always worth a pickup for sure. The televised terror set, I imagine we're going to be getting a volume 2 here in the next probably year and a half of this one. All three movies in this are pretty good. They were made for TV and I think that you would enjoy most of them, and it's a pretty solid package. All right, now is where we are getting into some really just great titles overall. The Homegrown Horrors Volume 1, if you are picking up Volume 2 during this sale, this is a great companion piece. There's one or two of these that I genuinely love in that box set. All American Murder is a really fun movie and has some of the best dialogue in any of the Vinegar Syndrome releases that you'll see. Death Promise. This has the catchiest theme song in any of the Vinegar Syndrome releases, and overall, it's a pretty decent movie. Moving on, when we get into important films for Vinegar Syndrome, Sex World is definitely up there. It looks great in 4K, and it is a title that has been associated with them for years, and it will probably never come out looking any better than it does in this 4K release. Scrolling down, this is where we start getting into a couple years ago, the Black Friday sale. Fade to Black is still one of the best titles ever released by Vinegar Syndrome. We are able to dive into that and watch something that you could not see for quite a long time. Forgotten Jolly Volume 2, the box set is sold out, but the standard release is available, and I strongly recommend that you check all of these Jolly box sets out. They are great in my opinion. Malibu High. The art on this slipcover is much more indicative of the film that you get for this movie, and it's one of my favorites from Vinegar Syndrome. The original art that they put out with that is kind of silly, and it made it look more like a beach comedy, but this is much better. Next up, I'm going to say to check out all three of the titles from Ruben Galindo Jr. That includes Don't Panic Here, Cemetery of Terror, and Grave Robbers. All three of those slips have been sold out for quite some time. All three of the films are great, some of the better in the Vinegar Syndrome catalog. Next one I'd suggest is the Dial Code Santa Claus in 4K. It looks amazing. Really great Christmas movie. I hope more people check that out. Who Done It? Island of Blood. It's a frustrating movie, but one that I enjoyed thoroughly. Next is Pandemonium. If you are into any sort of horror comedies, this could be up your alley, and I do think it's really good. Another one that's gone under the radar, The Caller, a very, very well-made movie, and I think it deserves a little more respect for sure. There's a lot of great titles now, so I'm gonna try to go through these as quick as I can. Perfect Strangers, everybody should see at least once. Best Friends, this is a really good movie, and I do think that people should be owning it. Patty Hearst, one of the best overall well-made films in the Vinegar Syndrome catalog. Blood Games, when this came out, it made quite a stir. This is a great, great movie. Nice exploitation film. Like I said earlier, The Severed Arm, very worth it. Dolly Dearest, an interesting movie if you like those sort of killer doll films. Pale Blood, unrecognized for what it does. It is a very good movie, just like Deadline and Olivia. Deadline is certainly an interesting movie, and if you've ever dabbled in writing or are interested in the idea of writing, Deadline is worth a pickup for sure. Malabimba, this one I can't mouse over it because it will show some nudity. It is a very solid adult title. It's a very good nunsploitation title. Scrolling down quite a bit, now we get into the really important films in the Vinegar Syndrome catalog. You got their first 4K release of Tammy and the T-Rex. You pretty much have to have that one. Spookies, this is a title that has some of the best special features on any Vinegar Syndrome release, and the movie's really damn fun. Candy Snatchers, literally one of the best films in the entire Vinegar Syndrome catalog. It is absolutely worth it, and one that should be seen by people that call themselves fan of Vinegar Syndrome. Then you got stuff like the Angel films and the Amityville horror films. Lots of people know about those. I will skip over those and scroll down to some more underseen films like Hell Comes to Frogtown. Really great Rowdy Roddy Piper movie. Makes a great companion piece to They Live. If you enjoy that one, I think it's a better film than They Live. I don't know if that's a hot take considering that's a Carpenter film. Scrolling down, we got their art house month here. All four of these films, Putney Swope, The Passing, Night Owl, and Taking Tiger Mountain, are really great for their own merits. I think Putney Swope is the best of them by far. That one is one that has a pretty huge fan base, considering it is a fairly well-known movie. Night Beast, a lot of people love Night Beast. It's a simple little creature feature. Then you get into some odd ones like Lust in the Dust with Divine. That one, the slipcover lasted for forever, but it's a fun little curio in their catalog. Satan's Slave and The Corruption of Chris Miller are great, especially The Corruption of Chris Miller. This one is like a Spanish giallo film that, it's got a great ending, really good movie overall. And now it's kind of hard to just separate these because I love a lot of these older Vinegar Syndrome titles. We got The Suckling, which is a classic in the cold of the night, is really well made. Dominique, if you're into that sort of that sort of film, you're probably going to like that one. Wacko has its fans. I'm one of them. A lot of people hate it though, but I think Wacko's really fun. Climax of Blue Power. This one is an adult film. It's a roughie, but it's really well made. And it's although it's hard to watch, I think it's important to watch it. Party Line, again, really well made film. Splatter University. This one is a classic for Vinegar Syndrome. A lot of people know this one, and it will be associated with them for a long time. Then you have their infamous Black Friday sale that sold out one of their mystery titles, I believe, if I'm remembering right. Mausoleum. This one was a big deal when it got announced. That one sold out on that first weekend, if I remember right. Bloody New Year. Everybody has to have that. It's a great title. Scrolling down, Sudden Fury, another one that is just overlooked in the Vinegar Syndrome catalog nowadays. Sudden Fury is a wonderful movie and just sort of overlooked because it came out early from them. The same with The Incubus and Blood Harvest. Both of these are great. Blood Harvest is one of my favorites with Tiny Tim. And then The Incubus is just an interesting movie overall. And then again, so many of these, like Wonder Woman is a classic. This is where the Vinegar Syndrome theme song came from. Shot is pretty damn good overall. I really love the slipcover on this one. Long sold out, but a great release. Body Melt. If you are into melt movies, this movie delivers it in spades. It is a great movie, a much better melt movie than something like Street Trash, in my opinion, which is a little light on that sort of practical effects, but Body Melt certainly goes there in many different scenes. All right, next page. This is literally one of my favorite Vinegar Syndrome titles of all time. Buddies is very emotional, very sad movie, but one that everybody should see. It is important to see that one. Now we're getting into a lot of their older adult titles. I will give a few recommendations in here. Pets is a good movie, not an adult title. It's pretty fun, a little sleazy though. Blue Vengeance, really well made. Bloodhook and Terror, everybody's after those slipcovers, but when you get past those, the films themselves, they leave a little bit to be desired, in my opinion. Some of these other ones, Welcome Home, Brother Charles, MMA, really great double feature. Strongly recommend those. Penitentiary and Penitentiary 2, you should absolutely be watching those films if you haven't yet. They are incredible. On this page, Liquid Sky. This is a quintessential Vinegar Syndrome title. You absolutely need to have that in your collection. It is 100% worth it. A Woman's Torment. This is an adult title and one that is a play on Polanski's Repulsion, and it's really well done. It's done by Roberta Finley, and it's just great overall. Demon Wind, one of my favorites. Cheesy little slasher kind of. It's just great. I've got a finger from the movie up on my wall over there that was used in the film. It's fantastic. Then we go to some of the older ones still. Psychos in Love is one that has a lot of fans. I don't love the movie, but it's pretty fun. My Chauffeur has an early showing from Penn and Teller in there. Good movie overall. Definitely one that seems a little out of place for some of the Vinegar Syndrome titles, but it works. I like it. Sweet Sugar. This is one that you should see if you have not yet. It is definitely good. Moving right along. All right. Slaughterhouse. This one is worth it. It's a good movie. It's well made. The Undertaker. This is one that a lot of people associate with Vinegar Syndrome as well. There's a really good performance from Joe Spinell in that film. Overall, just great. Death Machines. This one is going out of print, and that probably means it will not get a legacy slipcover, which kind of stinks. I wish that one got a little more attention. The storefront theaters, these are a bunch of like Super 8 and Super 16 old adult reels that get put together in this long compilation. And there are two releases of these through Vinegar Syndrome, and they usually sell out fairly quickly. If you're into that sort of thing, I highly recommend those. They are fairly well done and have a lot of content for the amount of money that you're paying. Here's the second one right here. The old drive-in collections and Peakorama double features, a lot of these are going to be very cheap. And if you can, I would pick up at least a few of them just to try to get some more content going out there for you to make it worth your money. Some of these have been upgraded, like the Young Like It Hot, Sweet Young Foxes. We even have that in 4K now through Vinegar Syndrome. But some of these others, they are never going to be, even in Blu-ray, never going to be on 4K. So if you are wanting some of these titles, this would be the best time to get them because they will be on sale. So something like Revenge of the Virgins, Teenage Zombies, I don't see those getting an upgrade from Vinegar Syndrome anytime soon. You may want to get that for $10 and get two movies on DVD. No, nothing wrong with that whatsoever. A lot of these other titles that are older will never be getting an upgrade, though some have, like Madman. This has been released in 4K from Vinegar Syndrome now. Recommend that 4K release, by the way. It is a very good looking release. Scrolling down on this page, there are some pretty well known titles, and some of these have been released on like the 5 years, 5 films disc from Vinegar Syndrome. So, like Dixie Ray Hollywood Star is well known. The Mothers was on one of those Blu ray upgrades. Ribald Tales of Canterbury has been upgraded on one of those 5 film sets. Christmas Evil, still a great movie, still a great Christmas movie. Highly recommend that one for sure. Pretty Peaches is available on Blu-ray out there, but it is worth a watch for sure. Raw Force, another quintessential Vinegar Syndrome title, same as Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls, and I would not be surprised if Hot and Saucy made it to 4K eventually through Vinegar Syndrome, possibly during one of their adult sales, but we can't necessarily rely on that, and it will not be coming on Blu-ray most likely because it was put on Blu-ray on one of the 5 film sets. Scrolling down, still a lot of really well-known titles on here, like Runaway Nightmare. This was released by Vinegar Syndrome on Blu-ray in a limited title. I could see that one coming back eventually someday, maybe in a 4K release. Like I said, Bijou is going out of print, and that could mean Jungle Blue is following soon after that. There are some others on here that are worth a watch. You've got Bible from Wakefield Pool. Scrolling down, you've got Night Train to Terror. This is one that is Vinegar Syndrome through and through. If you've never seen it, you must. It is a very odd movie. Yes. Punk Vacation, fun movie. If you've not seen it, it's probably worth the sales price. Good luck, Miss Wyckoff. They will have this in sale. They will have this in stock at the start of the sale. I recommend that one. It's a good release for sure. And The Telephone Book, one of the most underrated titles in the entire Vinegar Syndrome catalog. Completely worth it. Really great film. And then, of course, the one that started it all, you got to get number one, The Lost Films of Herschel Gordon Lewis. They will probably always have the rights to that one. But yeah, definitely recommend that one. All right, looking at the partner label releases from old to new, we've got the McPherson tape. Highly recommend that one. Alphabet City from Fun City Editions. Get that one while you can. Great movie. Scary Tales from AGPA. I'm kind of a sucker for this one. I really like that movie. I Start Counting from Fun City Editions made a huge splash when people started watching that. Great movie. Scrolling down, Alternate Innocences Lose. This is one that I would recommend. It's a good movie. Jeremy from Fun City Editions, another movie that is just beyond well made. Super, super enjoyable film. I am a sucker for a horror trailer show, and Agfa really nailed it with this one. If you watch my interview with them, they said that they kind of cobbled it all together themselves. They made this entire compilation, made something out of nothing essentially. And from there, Smile, great movie from Fun City Editions. There's a lot here at the beginning that's going to be Agfa and Fun City Editions before they really started to take off here for the partner labels. Walking the Edge, one of the best partner label releases ever at this point. Heavy Trip from Music Box Selects. This movie is hilarious. Highly recommend that one. Loved that movie. Martha, A Picture Story, really great documentary from Utopia. One of the best films to come out of all of the partner labels, The Leather Boys. This thing is so well made. I don't think enough people have got that and watched it. It is incredible, in my opinion. Mail Order Murder, the documentary from Saturn's Core. Highly recommend that. I love that sort of movie. It's great to dive into this other niche. Shiva Baby, one of the best partner label releases. The slipcover still available. Incredibly funny, incredibly tense, just great overall movie. And if you loved Rachel Sennett in Bodies, 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 she gives an incredible performance in Shiva Baby. Awaken from Gunpowder and Sky. This is maybe still the best 4K disc I've ever seen. It is incredible to look at. There's not a lot of narrative to it, but just the visuals are stupendous. Rancho Deluxe from Fun City Editions, another film that most people would enjoy if they took the time to watch it. Commando Ninja from ETR Media. Supposedly, they might be working on a sequel to that movie, and I would not be surprised if ETR gave us that one as well. But really fun, kind of send up of old like Chuck Norris style films and kung fu films and a whole bunch of other stuff just mishmashed into one and made 30 years after all of that was popular. It's hilarious. Kid Candidate from Gunpowder and Sky. I genuinely really enjoyed that one. I went through this one not knowing a whole lot about Hayden Pedigo, but I enjoyed it. It's a nice little documentary that was made in pretty much real time. Again, mentioned it earlier. Primetime Panic, absolutely essential. All right, the standard edition of the WNUF Halloween special from TerraVision. Again, another must buy. Utopias for Mad Men only. You got to see that. It's so well done. So many names that you'll recognize in that one. Knife Plus Heart from Altered Innocence, incredible movie, very stylish, very modern take on something that's similar to a giallo film. Again, not enough people have seen it. Love that slipcover as well. Summer of '84, incredible movie. Love this release. Looks great in 4K. Gunpowder and Sky killed that one. Dark Stars, The Last Matinee. Arrow put this out in the UK, but if you don't have that release, this movie is actually really well done. Like the practical effects in it, enjoyed it quite a bit. Alrighty, moving right along because there are so damn many. I'm a big fan of Detention from Decanalog. I think it's one that if you take the time to learn the context of the film, it has so much strength behind the message. And yeah, it's just a great release. Lynn Ramsey's Morburn Collar from Fun City Editions is just stupendous and will be going out of print, so you need that. TerraVision's Killing Spree. This is one that kind of looks like a shot on video film, but it's really well made, in my opinion, especially for how low budget it is. Lots of special features on that. Good release, good solid release. The Unknown Man of Shandigor from Deaf Crocodile. This was a title that came out of nowhere. It was lost for a very long time. And this release, if you are into something like Doctor Strangelove, you're probably really going to enjoy that one. Canadian International Pictures, they came out of nowhere in 2022 and released a lot of like prestige type titles. And there is not one of them that I wouldn't recommend to somebody. I think they're all stupendous. Culture Shock's Girlfriend from Hell. I really had a lot of fun watching that movie. I know that some people thought it was not great, but I thought it was pretty damn good for 80s like cheesy horror. And yeah, pretty fun time at least. Tragedy Girls, if you've never seen it, really good movie. Glad Gunpowder and Sky gave it some more attention. Cain and Abel from Canny, another one that does not get enough attention. I think a lot of people would love that movie if they took the time to watch it. Blood on Her Name. This is a very like neo-noir-esque film, sort of. Really enjoyed that one. Yellow Veil has put out a lot of great films, and I think that this was a solid release from them. Delta Space Mission from Deaf Crocodile, great animated film. One that is going to have a companion release coming soon. All right, if you've not seen the documentary Scream Queen about Mark Patton and A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, this one is definitely recommended. Really great release. Love and Saucers, interesting curio piece from TerraVision. I enjoyed it. I think it's fun. The Mob from Canadian International Pictures, again, great release. Other Music from Factory 25, solid documentary. And if you've ever been related to the music scene, you'd probably love diving into that one. Born to Win from Fun City Editions, solid movie, but pretty much everything from Fun City Editions has been. Buster Keaton Rides Again and Helicopter Canada from Canadian International Pictures. Super important release. Love that they're doing stuff like that. Same with Deaf Crocodile's Ilya Muromets. This one is solid. Your slipcover, unfortunately, is long sold out on this one, but the movie is stupendous and looks incredible. AGFA's continuous box set of the films of Doris Wishman, The Twilight Years. They have two other installments, plus Vinegar Syndrome released two of her adult films. And I believe altogether that encompasses her entire filmography that still survives at least. And yeah, they're all recommended. Just look into Doris Wishman first to see if it's somebody that you might enjoy. The Little Hours and Inspector Ike. These are two really great comedy releases from OCN partner labels, Gunpowder and Sky and Factory 25, respectively. Inspector Ike, especially, is one that has not gotten the attention that it truly deserves. I think it's incredible. No Resistance from Saturn's Core. Really like this movie way more than I expected. Nice shot on video film from, I think, 94 that was done in the Houston area, I believe. Great movie. Final Flash from AGFA is hilarious and weird. If that's your sort of thing, you would love it. Deaf Crocodile, The Time-Bending Mysteries of Sharam Mokri. This is a box set that is remarkable. Everybody should be watching the films in this box set. It is a great release. All right, we're getting to the time where a lot of these will not be on sale for everybody, so I'm going to leave those here. That is what we have from the Vinegar Syndrome Black Friday sale. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope that you have a great sale. I will be live all night for Vinegar Syndrome and the other websites that are going to be having their sales, like I said. See you Thursday night, and as always, from one collector to all of you, have a good night.